how you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to this rather late episode of Search and Report. I do apologize, but I was out of town, so I didn't have access to my recording equipment. But going forward, I will be a little bit unavailable. So these recordings, these episodes might just be in audio form going forward. I'm still seeing how I can make this work. If I'm going to be on the go a lot, I might as well just invest in a portable recording system, which I believe I just got to bite the bullet and buy a laptop or something so I can record on the go, because can't be spending too much time without uploading these, because then the views add up, you know what I'm saying? But it's been a very interesting week and a half since the last episode. I do sound sick because I am a little bit sick. Do not worry, it is not little old bitch ass COVID. I already checked. There's no sign of COVID inside my body. I checked twice. All right. Yeah, I had some shit stick down my nose twice in less than 2 weeks. So what? Don't worry about yourself, okay? But it's been an interesting week, and I'm just gonna say right here, right now, a lot of it is Nintendo based news. But without further ado, let's just get straight. No, first of all, let me shut up real quick. What have I been playing this past week? What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. I actually beat Super Mario Galaxy on the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. Finally, I hadn't beaten that game in so long, back from the Wii era. I remember beating it, I think, once, and that was it. So it was a really good walk down memory lane again. And then I did beat Paper Mario the Origami King, which I will say is an amazing game. I see the issues with it. I see how the criticisms that people give it are very much warranted. It is a step in the right direction, though, for the franchise. They are kind of, taking back, going back to their roots and focusing more on what's important or what makes a Paper Mario game so interesting. And I gotta commend them. It is an amazing story. It is really, really engaging. It's really fun. Like, man, I almost cried. I literally almost cried at the end. And it's a very emotional game. The writing is amazing. It's really, really fun. It's really fun, endearing, funny, everything. And it's really clever. It is a really, really clever piece of content, the way it was written, for it to be a Mario game. But I don't know if I'll do a full-on review. Those take a long time, and, like, to be honest, man, they take so long, and it doesn't get the views. Like, as much as I love making them, like, it just takes a lot of time, and, like, the payoff is not that well. But we'll see. I don't like shooting down ideas before they're even in the oven cooking up, so to speak. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And I recently started playing Final Fantasy 14 because I said, what the hell, why not, might as well. But yeah, that's what I've been playing, and that's it. Fuck it. All right. Let's go straight into our first news item of the week. Let me shut up real quick and just talk about the news. We got some interesting Nintendo Online news. This comes directly from Oatmeal Dome on Twitter, a prominent Nintendo data miner. Well, just data miner in general. Here they state Nintendo is replacing its multiplayer server system NEX, used in most, if not all, of their online games since the 3DS and the Wii U era, with a new system called MPLN. The Monster Hunter Rise demo was the very first game to use this in public. And then here they link another account, ThomasNet_MC. There is a huge not huge. This came as big news mostly because it is a rather outdated server system that Nintendo has been using. It's been using it for the past 10 years, but the actual technology behind the server system has reportedly been is reportedly over 18 years old. Like, apparently there was a wait, here it is. Where is it? Here Oatmeal Dome further states that I talked about what NEX is in my article about Splatoon 2's matchmaking and netcode. As I said here, NEX is at least 18 years old by now, so it's dated. Hell, the Splatoon 2 version has an unused function to check to see if it's running on Windows 98. So is that longer than 18 years? Like Windows 98, yeah, 98 was longer than 18 years ago. So it was a little bit of a dated technology, a little bit of a dated system. But here, Thomas net underscore MC further states it uses gRPC servers hosted on GCP or on Amazon Web Services with GCP in front. It's fast and it runs on multiple regions. Looking forward to see the results of this effort. It's probably going to make the Switch's multiplayer much better than today's if it includes relay servers. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that the online services for Nintendo, as far as like multiplayer online, is gonna be any better. I mean, there's reports saying that this will fix. I mean, it's obviously it's an upgrade to the infrastructure, the already dated infrastructure that is behind the NEX system that Nintendo has been using for the past 10 years. But I mean, it's still all up in the air, and it looks like it's going to be a rollout rather than not a rollout, an exponential rollout of the services, rather than just like, you know, a switch of like boom, from one day to the other we're already on the new system. I'm more excited to see how this plays and how this works towards games that, you know, have been famously known to have issues with multiplayer games, multiplayer online play, specifically Smash. I'm not too caught up on the whole netcode technology. To be honest, I don't necessarily understand it. I understand it in layman's terms. I understand that it works off of you know, a communication between the two people that are playing against each other. For example, if one person has a terrible connection to the servers, it's, you know, it's going to be lag central there. It doesn't matter if one person has the better internet connection, it just affects both of them equally. So this new server system is going to be it works on multiple regions, so I do believe it's going to be a lot more accessible for people around the world. It's going to be probably is going to provide a better connectivity for multiplayer games. And you know, I do hope that it's put in place sooner rather than later. I mean, they already tested it with the Monster Hunter Rise demo, and it looks like it worked fine. Like there were reports that Nintendo did it on this demo to kind of stress test the servers or the new system, and you know, apparently it held up pretty nicely. So hey, let's see what happens in the future. I'll speak from anecdotal evidence. Over the past I would say like year and a half or even longer, of all the times that I played Smash Online, I want to say like 2 out of 10 matches I have lag issues. I have any kind of issues. On all the other online games that I played, mostly like I played Fortnite, literally just using my Wi-Fi connection, not even using the Ethernet connection, and it's worked fine. It's not, I don't see any notable changes. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't looking at the ping, I wasn't looking at the delays, I wasn't looking at any type of, you know, actual technical testing measurements, so to speak. But it didn't hinder my experience playing with that. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, played a lot of online through using my Ethernet cable connected to the Switch, and I've had no issues with it, literally no issues. So I mean, I'm unsure how people are going to figure out that we're already on that Nintendo has already rolled out the new server system. But hey, if this paints a If this paints a brighter picture for Nintendo multiplayer online, I'm all on board. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever makes this this hellscape of a multiplayer experience on the part of Nintendo, if it makes it any better, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. If you're watching the video version, by the way, make sure to watch the video version on my YouTube channel. On just search for True Fernie. Alternatively, you can look up the podcast on just audio version, so you can listen on the go through Spotify. Just search for Search and Report. We're also on Google Podcast and almost any other podcast platform out there. We use Anchor, which I just upload in. It posts on a bunch of different sites, but most listeners listen to me on Spotify. And you know, support out there is greatly appreciated. I'll always say that. All right, now to our second news item of the week. This one was pretty big, and this one comes in parts. Okay, this one comes in parts because, first of all, I'm gonna go over the earlier news item, and then I'll go to the second news item that kind of just, it was like a second blow to Google Stadia. Apparently Google Stadia has shut down its internal studios and is changing its business focus. Here, Kotaku reports Google Stadia, the late 2019 streaming platform that promised to revolutionize gaming by letting users stream games without needing to own a powerful PC or console, is altering course, getting out of the game making business, and will now offer its platform directly to game publishers alongside offering Stadia Pro to the public. This was reported back on February 1st, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was last Monday. So, like I said, this video is a little late. This episode is a little late, but you know what I'm saying? Google will close, Kotaku further reports, Google will close its 2 game studios located in Montreal and LA, Los Angeles. Neither have released any games yet. That closure will impact around 150 developers, one source familiar with Stadia operations said. The company says it will try to find those developers new roles at Google, but as we all know, it doesn't mean that they're going to keep their jobs. So I really do hope Google keeps their word, and I do hope these developers do find jobs pretty quickly if they're not giving anything per Google. But I mean, I knew this was going to happen from the get-go. I think it was a little bit misguided. Stadia has had a very rocky release. And as we all know, Google isn't really famously known to provide support to their products and services. Like, Jesus Christ, they shut down everything less than a year into its release. Like, so I mean, this didn't come out of left field. I'll say that much. But I mean, at least it's still up there for third-party developers to, you know, put out their games on the platform. I'm quite unsure how many users are actually on the platform. I would imagine not that many. And especially there'll be a lot less going forward after the next news, which is the second part of Google Stadia news for this episode, which is, oh boy. Yo, companies out there, please, like, just, you know, take care of the talent, man. Take care of the talent. Take care of the people who actually bring value to your platforms. Take care of people who actually give you the tools to succeed, you know, like people who are funding, people who put their games behind your platforms. Like, these are the people who are going to drive people towards your platform, man. This was such a huge what's the word? They just overlooked this. And to be honest, like, something this simple can really ripple out and create, you know, these sort of things. Here Engadget reports, this is how Stadia lost one of its most anticipated indie games. Terraria is going to hit Stadia this year. Emphasis on was. This was a little bit of an interesting news item. So the co-creator and the Relogic CEO Andrew Spinks posted a Twitter thread where he kind of, I don't want to call it overreacted, but he kind of went from one issue to the other, and that led to them literally saying that they're going to take off Terraria, or they're not going to release Terraria on Google Stadia, which I think, from a third party perspective, I do think he kind of overreacted, because not, one thing doesn't mean that the other thing is related, not because Google messed up your emails or your account or whatever you may have with Google means that Stadia is going to be a mess. Or does it? I think I just answered my own damn question. But here Engadget reported, Terraria co-creator and Relogic CEO Andrew Spinks published a Twitter thread early Monday morning accusing Google of suddenly, unjustifiably suspending his studio's YouTube, Gmail, Drive, and Play accounts. He said he had been locked out of 15 years of resources for nearly a month, even though he had never violated Google's rules and the company was refusing to clarify the situation. So, Spinks canceled the Google Stadia edition of Terraria, a beloved 2011 indie game with an audience of more than 30 million players. Relogic hadn't even announced the Stadia version of Terraria yet, though rumors had recently hit the message boards and fans were getting excited about a new way to play. Spinks tweeted, "I absolutely have not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can take this no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it burned. Hashtag Terraria for Google Stadia is canceled. My company will no longer support any of your platforms moving forward." And it's a little confusing as to why Google would do this, why they wouldn't give any follow-up or any kind of support to literally one of the biggest indie games out there. Like, doesn't matter who you ask somebody, anybody who's from a casual up to an advanced gamer or a skilled gamer, advanced gamer, like if this was based on a leveling system, but you ask anybody about Terraria and they'll at least know what Terraria is. I mean, it's a household name, much like Minecraft was or is nowadays. And it's interesting. It's interesting that something like this kind of rippled out, and now Google Stadia basically ended up with not one of the biggest indie games out there on their platform. And honestly, no other way I can see it this as a huge L, as a huge oversight from them. And this ended up with them not having Terraria, which it is a huge indie game. Doesn't matter who you ask. Anybody and everybody knows what Terraria is. Here Engadget further stated, "Now, here's how it went down behind the scenes as described to Engadget by a Relogic spokesperson. In mid-January, the parent account of Relogic's Google services, Demilogic, received a notice from YouTube saying it was in violation of the site's policies. This was quite a bit confusing to us," the spokesperson said. "Developers hadn't uploaded anything to the Relogic YouTube channel in 3 months, and no one in their community had alerted them to new or offensive content in the account. Google didn't suspend the Relogic YouTube channel right away. Instead, its initial email read, 'We know that you may not have realized this was a violation of our policies, so we are not applying a strike to your channel. We have removed the content.' It didn't suggest any further action from the studio. 3 days later, the entire Demilogic Google account was disabled. This locked down the Relogic YouTube channel as well as the studio's access to Gmail, Google Play, and Drive. Over the following weeks, Spinks attempted to resolve the issue with Google directly and in private, but repeatedly hit a wall." Oof, it's such a shame. It's such a shame that Google Stadia has, fallen from grace. I remember when the first presentation of Google Stadia, I was legitimately looking forward to Google Stadia because, let's be honest, video games are supposed to be accessible. Video games are an expensive hobby. They are an expensive hobby. I mean, back from the days of the arcade, it was expensive. For every 3 lives, you had to pay 25 cents, and those 25 cents add up. Just ask your mothers. And, when console gaming became a thing, it made it more accessible for more people to play games at home. And with PC gaming and all these things, it all reverts back to console gaming. And console gaming, as the years go by, the technology gets a lot better. I mean, the PS5 has amazing capabilities. It has amazing hardware behind it, amazing technology. That raises the price, and that makes it less accessible for a lot more people to play games. Game streaming is a huge and a very good alternative to console gaming. And honestly, with the way the world is going, we're a lot more connected. People have a lot faster internet speeds. It's a lot more accessible to stream games. So, I mean, this was like just the obvious solution, the obvious next step in home gaming, or whatever you want to call it, console gaming. But it's just it's pretty disappointing to see how Google just mismanaged Stadia. How it was, I mean, it has the resources behind it. It's Google. It owns YouTube. It owns so much from the internet, which is kind of creepy, by the way. The amount of money and the amount of influence Google has on the internet is kind of worrisome. But they just mismanaged. They mismanaged a bunch of different things, and I'm sad. I'm sad to see the way it's going. I was excited about Stadia. Like, it was something that I was really considering now that I got pretty good internet. It just opens up so much of gaming to the masses, and all you needed was a internet connection. And well, it seems that slowly it's dying. It seems that Stadia is slowly but surely dying. And hey, to all the people out there who work for Stadia, I really do hope y'all find some better jobs, because I don't see the future of Stadia being very bright. But that is it. No Terraria for Google Stadia, and no in-house games being created by and for Stadia going forward. But that does bring me to my third news item of the week. And this one really upset me. This one really did legitimately upset me, because as y'all know, I am a Nintendo. Not really. I mean, I shit on Nintendo all the time, but they are my favorite video game company. I will say it. They are my favorite console makers. They are my favorite studio. They're my favorite developers. They, like, honestly, my favorite game of all time, my favorite game franchise of all time is Zelda. And I sound like a broken record, but I don't care. The Legend of Zelda is the best video game franchise of all time. I don't fucking care. You leave me hate comments. I don't care. I really do not care. But the next news item really put a sour taste to my week. Here, GoNintendo.com reports College Humor and Nintendo were working on a Star Fox claymation project akin to the Fantastic Mr. Fox. And not only that, apparently Nintendo was also working with Netflix to produce a Legend of Zelda production. It will. I don't think the details of it came to be. I don't think there was any news about it, but there were some legitimately film and probably TV productions being made for Star Fox and The Legend of Zelda, and because people can't keep their mouths shut, they were canceled. Here, Go Nintendo reports TV personality Adam Conover has not one but two big stories to share with Nintendo fans. He shared new details on the Legend of Zelda / Netflix project that fell apart, but that's not his only secret. Turns out Nintendo was working on another animated feature with a different company altogether. By the way, if you've never seen Adam videos, they're pretty interesting. He's famously known for the web show called Adam. No, sorry. I had to burp real quick. Oh my god, I'm fucking decomposing over here. He had a web show called Adam Ruins Everything, which was his first big break at College Humor. But yeah, apparently there was plans in place to put out some visual content for probably two of the biggest Nintendo IPs out there, which would have been amazing. Honestly, I do see Star Fox being animated in the same as Fantastic Mr. Fox, which, by the way, if you've never seen those type of stop motion animation, those claymation movies, they're really well made. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a great movie. But apparently both of these projects were canceled due to leaks. Here Go Nintendo further states, why didn't this project ever see the light of day? Conover says the leaks of the Legend of Zelda live action series with Netflix made Nintendo upset, so they not only canceled those plans, but plans for other projects outside of games at that time. That means the Star Fox claymation feature was a casualty of the whole Netflix situation. It would have been interesting, so to speak, to see a live action series of The Legend of Zelda. I don't know if I would have been a fan. I don't like live action, especially when it's content that's never been live action. It just never translates well. I don't think there's ever been a good example of a video game, of a anime or an animation or whatever is not originally live action to be translated pretty well to a live action format. So is this kind of like a blessing in disguise? Maybe. Not so much for the Star Fox production, because I would have been all for it. I mean, it's claymation. It would have looked goofy, but I mean, they're talking animals. Star Fox are talking animals that have access to space weapons and ships. So it would have been ridiculous. It's ridiculous already, but The Legend of Zelda, it's a little bit, I mean, it's still fantastical, but at the same time, they're humans. I mean, they're Hylians. I'm sorry, they're Hylians, but still, they're humans. So I guess you could say that would probably work, but I'm not too keen on live action productions. But yes, Nintendo had plans for two big productions for their two of the biggest franchises, Star Fox and The Legend of Zelda, which we'll probably never see, because it was completely scrapped due to a leak from Netflix. So shout out Netflix for always increasing your price, kind of sneaking that in all the time without really letting us know we see you, and for, always being behind on animes. What the fuck? As much as I love watching animes, anime subs, sometimes I'm lazy and I'm doing other stuff and I want to watch an anime or listen to an anime without having to watch it and read subtitles. But shout out Netflix for ruining everything. Yeah, but that's it. Now for our fourth news item of the week, I'm going through these like fucking hotcakes, man. I'm going one after the other. I'm not stopping for anybody. You know what I'm saying? But we got a reveal trailer for a huge franchise, a huge remake, a remaster, I should say, a remastered franchise that is coming out this year, which I'm really excited about, because I've heard nothing but good things from RPG fans about this franchise, and I've been diving deep into RPGs. I've been liking RPGs. I've been starting to play Final Fantasy games. I'm kind of slowly but surely finding the attractiveness, their attractive qualities for RPGs. So I'm really excited. Shout out Cyberpunk. I mean, you're the exception, of course. But we did finally get a launch date for Mass Effect's Legendary Edition. Here, the Mass Effect official Twitter account tweeted, "Calibration's complete. Relive the legend of Commander Shepard, remastered in 4K Ultra HD. Mass Effect Legendary Edition launches on May 14th." And they released a launch trailer, which I'm currently showing if you're watching the video podcast version. The video version of the podcast, kind of messed up my wording there over on YouTube, but they did release a cinematic trailer. It looks really nice. It does look that they actually went way above expectations. Like, literally, this game looks what Cyberpunk should have looked like, if I'm being completely honest. But they have remastered the Mass Effect games in 4K Ultra HD. So fans of the, by the way, let me say this real quick. It looks amazing. It looks really, really good. They really did go out with all the lens flares though. I'm kind of worried about that. I'm not trying to look at a JJ Abrams production and like lose my sight, but I will say it looks great. The graphics look amazing. The lighting looks beautiful. The environments look amazing. The character models are, they look so interesting. And I'm speaking from a very inexperienced position. I've never played a Mass Effect game, but it looks really interesting. It looks really, really fun. And I know people love this game because the story is amazing. The RPG mechanics are amazing. All the different paths you can take in this game are pretty open, so to speak. So I'm really excited to get this. I am gonna get this. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, the PC version, or I'm not entirely sure actually if there's gonna be a console version, which I'd imagine there will be. But yeah, we'll see. There are pre-orders now open for this game, so if y'all are excited, if y'all big fans of RPGs, you can go ahead and go to the site and pre-order now. Actually, let me go ahead and see what the actual pre-order. Yep. So okay, so it's coming out for Origin, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. So damn, I might just get it for PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta get some use out of my PS5 because it's just sitting there collecting dust at this point, man. Jesus Christ, what the hell? We need next gen games, man. I mean, besides Dark Souls, besides Miles Morales, there hasn't been any big releases for the PS5, man. I'm over here drowning in sadness. There's nothing for me, man. I literally had to fucking buy Red Dead Redemption 2 just to play a good looking game on my 4K machine that I spent almost 2 months trying to get. Oh, I only spent 1 month. I'm sorry. Let me not exaggerate. Let me not use hyperbole pretty liberally. But hey, come on, man. Come on, y'all. Like, Jesus, man. People have these big ass consoles and they can't even use them. They can't even play 4K games. There's nothing, man. There's just Miles Morales, a 10-hour game. I mean, in Dark Souls, but I'm a little bit of a coward, and I really don't like losing in games, so that's why I haven't really played it. But yes, May 14th, be on the lookout for this amazing game. This amazing collection of games, which I'm really excited to get into. And hopefully I'll beat them all. We'll see. I'll stream it. Make sure to follow my Twitch if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into streams. But it's going to be kind of hard now because I'm going to be moving a lot. So I don't know. We'll see how this works. But now for essentially our last news item of the week. As I said, it was a pretty packed week, but at the same time, there was a lot of it was a lot of really small news here and there. Not a lot was happening in terms of in terms of huge gaming news besides the ones I already went through. So I mean, I am going through a lot of this stuff, but pretty quickly. But oops, sorry, just a video popped up right now. But here's what probably the biggest news item of the week, and I think I'm gonna end it here because I'm sure I'm gonna spend some I'm gonna spend some extensive. What am I saying? I'm gonna spend some extensive time. I'm gonna spend a lot of time talking about this. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sick. I'm congested. I am trying my hardest not to cough right now. I'm up, like, literally. I think my insulin levels are like all the way to the moon because of how many fucking cough drops I've eaten. You know, just trying to calm this cough down. Do these have sugar, by the way? Yeah, they have sugar. They have starch syrup. Oh God, man, I'm a kid. I'm just taking candy, just eating candy. Man, cough drops are such a scam. They're literally just candy. They're not medicine. I don't know who painted this as medicine. It does soothe the throat though. That's what she said. However, let's go for our final news item of the week. CD Projekt Red, my favorite studio ever, literally. No, not being sarcastic at all. They got hacked. They recently got hacked. The Cyberpunk 2077 Studio CD Projekt Red hacked, and their source codes have been held ransom. Here, Collider.com reports. Here, they report. Today, a new bad actor enters the picture. An unidentified person or persons have hacked CD Projekt Red systems and are currently holding source codes to games like Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and more ransom. Firstly, to be clear, said actor or actors more likely is not an actual actor. Okay, bro. I hate when articles do this, when they start being all cutesy and stuff, you know, like, just report the news, y'all. Like, I know you want to give it personality, but relax, okay? Like, people just come here to read the news, not to like be all up in the your life, you know? Go and be content creators if you want to add personality to the news, okay? Points directly at me. But yes, CD Projekt Red did tweet out this very important update, and I'm glad they didn't use the yellow background with the black font anymore. But here's what CD Projekt Red tweeted. Yesterday, we discovered that we have become a victim of a targeted cyber attack, due to which some of our internal systems have been compromised. An identified actor gained unauthorized access to our internal network, collecting certain data belonging to CD Projekt Red Capital Group, and left a ransom note, the content of which we released to the public. Although some devices on our network have been encrypted, our backups remain intact. We have already secured our IT infrastructure and begun to restore the data. We will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. We are taking necessary steps to mitigate the consequences of such a release, in particular by approaching any parties that may be affected due to the breach. We're still investigating the incident. However, this time we confirm that to our best knowledge, the compromised systems did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our services. We have already approached the relevant authorities, including law enforcement and the president of the Personal Data Protection Office, as well as IT forensic specialists, and we will closely cooperate with them in order to fully investigate this incident. And this is what the hackers, so to speak, the attacker hacker. All right, let me stop before they hack me. They left this text file saying, "Hello, CD Projekt Red. You have been epically pwned. We have dumped full copies of the source codes from your Perforce server for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We have also dumped all of your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. Also, we have encrypted all your servers, but we understand that you can most likely recover from backups. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company functions." All right, bro. These hackers aren't the best writers or authors, so to speak. "Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us." I think it's reaching that 48-hour mark at this point, but like they said, I don't think they're gonna reach out to the hackers specifically. CD Projekt Red further added to this threat: "To our ex-employees, as of this moment, we don't possess evidence that any of your personal data was accessed. However, we still recommend caution, i.e. enabling fraud alerts. If you have questions, please write to our privacy team." Oh man, like, you all know I've been very critical of CD Projekt Red because of their business practices. Like, let's call them out. The way they released Cyberpunk 2077 was atrocious. It was the shittiest and the shadiest way to release a game in history. I don't think there's ever been a similar case of a publisher lying to their customers about what this game entailed. But I do not wish all the stuff that's been happening to CD Projekt Red over the past 2 months. It's almost 3 months since the release, I think. Yeah, today is 3 months actually. January. No, 2 months. Sorry, 2 months. Sorry. I'm not very big on math. But oof, man. it seems like CD Projekt Red just cannot catch a break. Week after week after week, there's always an issue. Always an issue, man. There was the issue with the mods, them saying that, here are the mods, and people starting modding what's his name? What's his face? God, I forget his name. Keanu Reeves into the game, and them having to reach out to the people and be like, hey, can y'all please stop doing that, and can y'all please just fix our game. There was also the bombshell report from Jason Schreier talking about crunch culture inside of CD Projekt Red, talking about how they lied to the people. They basically said the game works fine on consoles when it doesn't. Them trying to backtrack and say that they just didn't see any issues with the console version when they were doing it. They didn't see any reason as to delay the game, and it's been a mess. It's been a terrible mess, a PR disaster for CD Projekt Red, and I don't think at this point they can ever recover that public trust. I honestly do not see them recovering from this anytime soon. This is personal. This is my personal opinion. This is not news. This is not objective journalism. I do not see CD Projekt Red releasing another game of this scale. I don't see them. I mean, maybe they won't go under. That's still up in the air, but I really do not see them getting this same amount of hype. I don't think they're going to get sales. Whatever their next game is, whatever they are working for the next, which they should just be working on DLC at this point, I don't think it's going to be a success, and that might just be the downfall of CD Projekt Red. As we all know, they're a publicly traded company. Their stock went way down. It doesn't seem like they're recuperating any of the losses that they had with the whole the stock market issue. They're not getting the public trust back. They're not, sales, people are going to look at their games and they're going to be a lot more wary whenever they do release their next game. It might not, pre-orders might not be that good, and it's, I don't know how CD Projekt Red are going to get out of this, man. It's really sad that they get hit time and time again with issues. It seems like they're just dogpiling at this point. Like, I'm sorry, but this little mess up was just like a cataclysm to all of the issues falling on CD Projekt Red. And if you're still working for CD Projekt Red and you're a developer, shout out to you, man. I really do hope that you're doing well. Please take care of your mental headspace. It's been a terrible 2 months. It's felt like forever. I'm sure it's felt like forever for you. It's felt forever for like me. I still can't believe it's been 2 months. I still haven't beaten Cyberpunk. But oof, man. Here's to hoping CD Projekt Red pulls through this, because they got potential. They really do. They produce some amazing games, and it just sucks, man. It sucks for them so much. But yeah, that's the news. They've been hacked, and I'm sure the hacker's gonna release this thing pretty soon, and we'll see how it plays out. But besides that, there are not any more news this week. We do have a huge release from Nintendo. We have, of course, what is essentially, I think, I don't know if it's the last Wii U port we'll get for the Switch, because I think probably the whole library of the Wii U is already on the Switch, except the HD remasters of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which, by the way, y'all taking your sweet ass time with that. I know you're going to release them this year for the 35th anniversary of Zelda. Please, Nintendo, stop playing with us and just release it. But we do have the Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury released this Friday, which I will be getting, and I will hopefully start streaming it. Maybe this weekend, I don't know yet. We'll see, but I am excited for it. It seems that Nintendo is going through the sandbox open world route with Bowser's Fury, from what I've seen on the videos and the trailer. And also, by the way, the game's been leaked. So if you don't want the story ruined, which I mean it's a Mario game, there's not much story to it. It's always the same thing. Be on the lookout. The game has been leaked for a week. This seems to be common practice with Nintendo games. A week before it gets leaked, so be on the lookout for that. So just watch out. Might get spoiled for you. But there's been game footage of Bowser's Fury, and it looks like it's just a sandbox. Like literally, you can go anywhere in the world and explore the levels, explore the areas here and there, and you know it looks really interesting. I'm super excited to see how what Nintendo is gonna do with this. Would you call it DLC? Because it's add-on to Super Mario 3D World, so it's not necessarily its own game. So I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how this game plays. I'm really excited about it. But yes, be on the lookout, y'all, for I'm gonna be working on my next video idea, my next scripted video. I still don't know what it's gonna be about, but make sure to like and subscribe this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like my content. Please, I'm gonna bring this channel up at least to at least 200. I want 200 subscribers before mid this year. If y'all enjoy this content, please make sure to like the video, tell your friends about it, tell your friends about this YouTube channel, tell your friends about me. Go ahead and follow me on social media down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, which is where I spent most of my time. Make sure to join our Discord server, where we talk anything and everything gaming, anime, just shoot the shit between each other. We just talk. We're a community of gamers, we're a community of nerds. We all talk anything of gaming, anything related to anime. We're always there. We're always talking about shit and stuff. Yeah, and we're sharing memes, so come through. It's a lot of fun. Also, please make sure to follow me on Twitch, where I try and stream pretty often, but as I said, my schedule is all over the place it's gonna be all over the place for the next, I'll say, like 3 months or so. So please bear with me. I do want to get back into a normal streaming schedule, but a lot of things are happening in my personal life. A lot of stuff is changing, so just bear with me. Content is coming, baby. Content is coming. And yeah, that's all there is, baby. That's all there is. Please make sure to listen to the audio version on Spotify. Just search for Search and Report. The logo, or I should say the cover for the podcast, is a little Game Boy. So if you see a Game Boy, you know it's gaming. If you know it's gaming, you know it's Search and Report. If you know Search and Report, you know it's your boy True Fernie. So be on the lookout. I do a lot of this. If you're watching the video version, I'm doing a lot of like hand movements whenever I'm talking. But yeah, folks, I've been True Fernie. Please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself. Peace. I will see you on next week's episode, which is probably gonna drop this Sunday, so won't be long. Gaming news coming right at you. What am I doing with this outro? I'm completely butchering. All right, peace.